Okay, let's get started with this is alphabetically sorted as usual, like weekly call, but now it's little different after a quick drop today and started yesterday a little bit, but especially today, in last 20 hours. Okay, so the whole entire purpose of this call is to highlight key level, and if any coin is looking good, I'll highlight that. Unfortunately, there are not many coin looking good, but I think there are two or three coins which I'll highlight quickly now. So firstly, uh, none of this is going to be financial advice, but I'll try to go beyond as much as possible, but treat that as my style of doing it, as if I'll be planning this way and that, because everybody would be in different situation and with different goals. So whatever I'm going to say is likely to be, I'll try to generalize it, and but it is possible that it would be based on my personal preference as a trader, what I would do, because then I would be able to explain it in a better way rather than thinking about a scenario that if you enter at this level then this could be the decision and so on. Generally speaking, I will highlight some of the aspects which are common, like from the trend point of view, which level is good and all, which level has a higher risk, trend level risk. So I will highlight two things. One is what level will be really threatening for a trend, and what level would be good support as far as risk management concerned, but that would be purely based on my own preference, okay, not based on your entry or something like that. Okay, so that's a quick disclaimer and clarification. Okay, so with this drop, imagine this Aave, actually this is a midline, and this is like a descending channel. I won't draw, but you can imagine. So this is descending. Now it means this level is important. um, I think you have access to all the charts. When I said, you can refer the video again. So when I said this one, I will not go into exact US dollars number. You will figure out, right? I'm sure. So you can look for the low for this particular part, which is in this case, let's say September 26th. So likewise, if I highlight any candle, you can later go through the video and see what is the level, because then it will be easier. Also, your exchange could be different, so the price could be little different, right? So that's another reason. Point is, what I'm trying to highlight is, if this low is broken, then AVE will become very very weak. And as far as trend is concerned, of course this low is the most important low, but if this low is broken, then the trend would be at risk as far as AVE is concerned. So from both trend and a support point of view, 240 level would be important level. Cardano has hit this white line, which was also the low for this particular, hold on, this particular August end, August 27th. So it has retested this level in a quick bounce, but again this is like a range bound in this. Now for that, for Cardano, 1.58 is the key level. Okay, now the recent low, I think in general the immediate support is recent lows to start with. Okay, and then the next one would be 1.58. And if you have any question, I'll definitely answer all of your questions once I go through it. Now, if this, so basically, if this structure is broken, you see that sometimes there's spike, and this handling alts are very tricky because you see this was the low, and it actually broke this low and went up. So if you put a stop loss somewhere here, it would hit your stop loss and would go up. So it's not easy to handle stop loss. Stop losses are needed, but remember what my practice is. My practice is no, we should have more than one stop losses as a best practice. Okay, so if you have stop loss here, and then you're stopped out, and now it went up, and you lose all of your position. If you don't put stop loss, of course you will regret for not exiting and all. So my suggestion is, or the way I would do is, if this is the low, of course this is a point of reference, this could be your, just below this could be your another one, but you have 2-3 stop losses below this one. In my point of view, you can start earlier as well, right? So one, let's say here, one below this one. I'm just taking ADA as an example because we have a scenario, let me zoom in, where you see it penetrated this line, went below this low and went up. So if you just have one stop loss, you would be sad, right? So that's why, at least I think you can go with 3 stop losses. 2 is also fine, but 3 stop losses would help. Okay, and just spread your stop losses so you are not worried. And 1.58 is very important support. Okay, and after this I don't know what. So point is, if it breaks below this support, then it's uncertain as far as it's a recovery. Of course I'm not going away, so I'm going to update you every other day or every day. So even if it touches here or goes little below, right, all this support, I'm going to update you like I'm updating now. So that's not a problem, because situation is fluid, situation is very dynamic. Sometimes intraday movement has to be ignored. The how the day closes would matter, as I clarified on BTC Daily yesterday, that sometime there can be a quick spike during the day, but by the day ends, it would bounce so much that you would not realize that something has actually happened. Yeah, it happens sometimes. So for an example, consider this day as an example. It dropped significantly, but by the day ended, it went up and recovered more than 50%. Of course, eventually it could not go up higher, but the point is, this intraday movement is funny. Yeah, so sometimes it doesn't give you the complete picture. So similarly, you see, this is intraday movement. So this was quick. We'll see. I'm taking just ADA as an example, because we are on ADA. But the point is, we are going to see all the coins, and we'll see something similar. Okay. Algo, for an example, quick drop, right? And now it's here. For this, 1.38 is the key level. If it is broken, then I think it's in big trouble. So all these supports are big supports. So as far as practice is concerned, you can say this today's low is my immediate support, and then you break down into multiple, right, up to this one, right? It's up to you. I'm just offering different options here. So today's low, up to support, just scatter your stop loss. Never have one stop loss, have multiple stop loss. Again, if you don't want to stop loss, I'm not trying to push you for that. So just another clarification, right? This is about those who would like to protect their position in case it continues going down, because it is possible that you enter somewhere here very low and you don't care about the support. You have more tolerance. You can see, even if it comes down to this level, I'm fine. So it's your choice, right? My job is to highlight what supports are important, because once the support is broken, we don't know where it will end. I mean, where it will stop. Okay, so what we saw today, is not a trend changer, but if these supports are broken, then it could enter into bear market. But the funny part is, not funny part but interesting part is, the identifying end of the bear is easiest, because usually they end with capitulation, means a quick drop. Okay, capitulation means a quick drop. You will see a huge candle with high volume. The 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 same doesn't happen with the top. So the when the bull trend ends or uptrend ends, it doesn't end with a big bang. Okay, it doesn't with a long wick. It ends slowly and gently melting down, and you will not even realize. You will realize of once you lose 40-50% sometimes. So that's the reality. I'm not sure how many of you were there in the market. I'm here since 2015, and whatever interaction I had, very few people are able to book profit actually and able to get out, because what happens is they never realize that the bull run is over. So they are very happy with their unrealized profit, but they don't realize, I mean, they don't they cannot get out with profit. So it's a reality. Okay, but here I'll make sure that you're up to date. But doing nothing is a choice, but then there are consequences. Okay, now Alice, I would say 10.8 is the key level. In this case, I would I think I would say this level could be the key level. Maybe I'll change it, or maybe you know what, I'll add one more line, and I would keep 8.5 is the critical level in this case. I'm just keeping the white color only. I'm not changing to red and all. Okay, so 8.5. So what you could do is, if there is you can plan accordingly. Okay, and don't judge by intraday movement. Sometimes mm, they are they're not telling the real story. Okay, we have around 4 hours before the day ends. If how day ends will matter, and I think I'll open a call when the day ends, one more call, to see where they stand. I think it makes sense. For right now, in next 4 hours, if something happens, we don't know. So I'm just having a call, so you would get some information and key levels. But I think it makes sense for me to open a call when the day ends. So Atom, you saw what happened. This low R6, and also this is R6. So don't say this is the low. The day is not ended, so this is not the real low. Actually, this is technically it's low, but the closing number is the important number, not the low. Okay, when you look at the candle, where it closes, that matters, because that's a conclusion. Okay, that's how it works, especially in traditional market. That's how it is. Here it's 24-hour, but still all the bots, all the strategies are still designed around end of day. So even though it's a 24 by 7 market, the end of day matters. um, right, so you see that now this is the key level is 22.7. Now recent low up to this level, you plan. Okay, different stop losses, as I suggested earlier. Some of you joined just now, but don't worry, this session is being recorded. I have conveyed some practices, nothing new, repeated some of them. um, so you can refer this video later on. um, AVAX is in a strong position at this moment, especially it bounced after a quick drop, and now it is actually in a good position. There is no risk at all, right? So for this coin, I would say R12 is the key level, I mean immediate level, and this is the ultimate level 51. So starting from the recent today's low, this R12 whatever is number 73.6, right, or maybe a little lower, 73 maybe round figure, and then and this number. So these are the three key levels I would highlight for AVAX. EXS is not bad, quick bounce as you could see, quick bounce. So if it has recovered 50%. So what you notice right now is what is the recovery strength of different coin, and it can be measured very in a simple way, that you take the whole entire candle and see what is the size of the body and the size of the wick. Right here, if you look at the wick is more higher, longer, the body is smaller. It shows the strength. So and anything above 50% is a good sign. That means it doesn't want to go down. That's a sign. It's not a conclusion. It's a sign, because as I said, the 20 hours have passed for this day, and 4 hours to go, and it is sitting above 50%. So it has recovered 60%, you can say. So that's a good sign. So I'm giving you some clues, and it is not easy. This is very simple technique I'm sharing with you all at this moment. Hold on please. um, okay, I'm back. So sharing a very simple technique with you. You just have to open 1 day's time frame and see, look for the candle, right? So this is a good sign. Of course it could change up and down, but at least it will tell you, especially when the day ends, you can track and see how it ends. So if it ends at the near the bottom, that means there is a higher risk. Look at this. This is an example. There is no strength on BNB side. BNB was actually showing strength initially, but not now. So you can say that the probability wise, the probability of making new low is higher for BNB, because there is no sign of bounce here, right? It's hovering near the edge, recent low. So because this low is little higher than this low, you can consider this as a reference point. And of course 490 is another reference point, and ultimately 433 from where it started recently. Yeah, so these are the key levels. Okay. We saw this is different flavor. BTC. BTC I have been updating, so you're aware. Now I posted new S2 S3 support for the BTC are the most important, because if the BTC bounces, then all the alts bounce, you know that. So the support level for alts sometimes are not so important, but sometimes what happens is the alts break the support quicker. I mean they, because they fall faster in that case. So even Bitcoin, let's say, drops by 2%, but your alt could actually drop by 8% or 10% or 15%. So that's why those levels that I highlighting could become very handy for you to manage your risk. But ultimately I think what you have to consider is, you have to consider those levels, but ultimately what is important is you have to calculate your risk with regard to those levels. If those levels are too deep, then you have to reduce earlier or even now, because um, depends on your entry point, your loss would be different, right? Ultimately, see, in risk management is what is stop loss. The literal meaning of stop loss is you have to stop your loss, as simple as that, right? So if somebody is not in loss, would have greater tolerance compared to someone who is in loss. Very obvious. And that's why it cannot be the same. So whatever levels I have given, what you have to do is, if you have, let's say, $1,000 of investment, and based on your situation, you calculate that if I put these three stop loss, what is my average loss, I mean ultimate loss, if all of them are hit. If those are, that's too much for you, then you have to start reducing now. But then you cannot regret that I reduced and later it goes up. Then you regret that I should not have reduced, because you cannot play on the both the sides. People do that. People regret for not getting out, and the same person would, regret for selling it. So you have to decide, because right now, see, it's not crashing at this moment, but when it starts crashing, your mind won't work with the same efficiency. It will be half or one third, or maybe, I don't know, impulsive. Right now you are in a better position. Right after the call, if you haven't calculated anything, you calculated that what is my exit strategy, you cannot change it. So exit strategy, you take these levels and say, if I add my stop losses, what is my percentage loss, and accordingly you decide your percentage. So if you have three stop losses, you can say 20% first entry, first exit, then 30%, and then 50%. But if you are already in loss, then you can say, first let me get out 50%, then 30, and then 20. Or it can be 70%, I'm going to exit, 10% and 20%, whatever. So you would have three stop losses, for example, but your percentage for that stop loss also you have to decide. But I'm giving you a very simple approach, that you decide, first stop loss, what is my percentage loss, I mean dollar loss. Second stop loss, what is my dollar loss. Third stop loss, what is my dollar loss. Okay, and you plan that way. That's the planning part. You stick to it and be a bot. Don't change ever. If it drops, let it eat your stop loss. Never touch your stop loss once you decide, because that's the number one rule. Okay, once you decide, you are not supposed to change your stop loss. Whatever you decide now. Okay, that's number one rule. Another thing is, so you decide percentage, and as I said, three stop losses are recommended. What else? I want to just spit out everything that I personally would prefer, and yeah, the things that I think would work well in any situation. So these are the best practices. Nothing new that I'm repeating probably, but yeah, this percentage allocation, it's up to you how you decide, right, based on your situation. Okay, and yeah, let's continue. So what I was saying, that I'll be making sure that I'll update the Bitcoin levels that I updated. Like for example, last night I said it could touch the red dot, and it happened, instead of going for the green one after this one. So that's what Bitcoin is, but it's practically impossible to do for 50-60 coins, right? So 40-50 coins. So, and they percentage vary a lot, and they are sometimes they go crazy. Anyway, so for Bitcoin, this is the ultimate, right? If today's low is broken, S2 is the last resort. If S2 is broken, then Bitcoin is in real trouble. Then as I mentioned on other flavor, that the big head and shoulder is possible if S2 is broken below. Again, we have S3. Maybe you can say this is the last one. Okay, but the point is, by the time Bitcoin hits this level, there will be major damage as far as alts are concerned. This is just 10%, not a huge one, but the alts would go down by 30%, could go down by 30%. Okay, so very important. Right, so the S3 would be the last one as far as trend is concerned, because if this is broken below, then it could easily touch 40k, and after that we don't have to think too much, because once it hits 40k, there could be a quick bounce creating the right shoulder, or and then go up. It is possible, but the point is, who cares? I personally don't want to wait until 40k. I don't want to see my long position up to 40k, to be honest, because that's too deep. Okay, um, especially knowing the fact what is happening. Who cares? I would personally just keep reducing, and if it goes down, fine, I'll re-enter and enjoy, and I'll have more positions, right? So I would say anyone who is panicking and exiting fully is not a good choice. Okay. Anyone who is not planning about reducing is also not choice. The choice is in middle, right in the middle, which is incremental approach, stepwise, considering the today's low as one level, then S2, and then and so on. If you do this graceful exit, I call, if you make graceful exit, you are you are in a better situation than most, because in this approach you're not fully out, and the same time you are reducing your risk, because you don't know how when where it will end. What if this is the end of bull run? It's not happening now, but what if this is the end? As I said earlier, the end of the bull run is not like capitulation. When the bear trend ends, it's always soft. You would never recognize it. You will recognize retrospectively when you look back, but then you would have lost a lot. So I'm really repeating all this thing because many of you came from a background where these practices are not followed. Many of you are very new to this field and not being told or explained by anyone. So it is very important that I sometime I might be hammering, but it is important that I do. So it is registered. I don't mind repeating, and I don't mind if you are bored. Okay, so next one is CELR. So CELR has broken a key level in my opinion, and I had highlighted on a weekly call that this is following descending. You can refer it, but you see, there's no sign of it is making lower highs and a lower low. This is moving down, as simple as that, and it could keep moving down like this, and it could even accelerate even. Okay, and I had mentioned CLR was excellent, but you have to recognize that it's not ready, right? Now it dropped by 13%. And sometime the coin which actually went up too much could actually go down faster. It is possible. Okay. And as I said, very few people are able to book profit because they are not able to accept the fact what is happening. The hardest part is to adapt to the situation, and I tweeted about this today for a reason. Anyone who understand would get it. Anyway, so look at Crow is strong. One of someone asked okay, why Crow is doing well. I think they are marketing a lot. So this is a new exchange. They hired Matt Damon, so probably it's helping them. Anyways, so it's holding up pretty well at this moment. So maybe this is one of the strongest coin at this moment. But yeah, today's low, and then this low is very important. Once this is low, when this is broken below, we don't know how deep this would go, right? So take care of it. Doge, again, today's low, and I would say this 0.21, and then this low, which is like roughly 0.192. These are the three levels I would highlight. And then you don't want to wait until this one, because this, if this, it could touch this one, but the point is, then it will be giant descending triangle. If it comes down to this, then it will be giant descending triangle. You want to see like this, and then this, and then you create a horizontal, I mean draw a horizontal line. And if it comes down to this, it could bounce and then comes down. This, the downside move could be very huge. So i I mean, who cares about this level, in my opinion? Because it defended this one. I don't know, next time it will be able to defend. So for me, this recent low, then 0.214, and then this low is, which is around 1.19. These are important one. I don't care if it, beyond that. That's it. dot. um, so the dot, today's low is important, and then this 332.10. So maybe you can just scatter your stop losses if you want. Okay, because if it breaks below 32, then it could go deeper. um this is 22% drop, right? So but if you scattered, and don't worry, if you want 5 stop losses, that's also totally fine. It's not silly, just to let you know. 5 stop losses are totally fine. Just like scatter all across, don't worry. Okay, and it's not, if you are in healthy profit, you don't need to. Okay, it's just an option. So EGLD is showing strength here. It touched R14, you see, again similar to ADA that I explained, that it made new low compared to this low, but it's just intraday. The day hasn't closed, right? So the closing price matters, not the low, because this kind of a crazy wick could actually make you think that. But stop loss point of view, those low are important because those can knock you out. That's why single stop losses are not recommended for crypto. Now, Ethereum has reacted to this rising wedge. Now, this is not a bad situation at all. But if it goes down below R16, then it's in trouble. Another thing that I see here is, you see, the body is bigger than the candle wick. That's not positive so far. However, so how it ends matters, correct? If but in next 2.5 hours it rises, you know, then it's good. But if it ends with this kind of a situation, then it's not good. So this is simple way to judge. For an example, EGLD we saw, you see the difference in the body is smaller, right? So this is much better. File, good to see it bounced pretty well. 50% recovery from the total loss today. But that also means that this is the most important level. Here you may not have multiple, I would say. Yeah, you can have one and two. This one, you, because the third one is pretty deep. You don't want too many, because who cares once this is broken? I don't know, in my opinion. Yeah, if this is broken, it's too much, right? Okay, I got to go, but I'll make sure I cover quickly everything. But I covered all the best practices through different examples. So it's just matter of going through all the coins and highlight the level. So this is, today's low is important. Then this October 15th low is important. And of course, the ultimate one is 1.66. Okay. FTT, today's low is important. Then again, similar to this low, 47.8 or 7, and ultimately 44 is the important one. I would say do something if it goes down. Okay, don't keep looking at it, because last time when I highlighted at the top, I realized nobody did anything. I mean, hardly anyone actually did anything. Very few actually said I exited. They kept looking. I don't know why they kept looking. This is a good sign. GRT, you see 50% recovery. So this is a good sign, right? This is a good sign. However, this recent low is important, and this is a little tricky because the wave structure is a little different. But I would say this low, whatever is this low, 0.65 and then 0.62. In short, you can draw a very simple trend line. If it breaks below trend line, right, because it can happen here, whatever. So around 0.75, I think it will be in trouble, because then this trend, especially zero point 0.7 is broken. If zero point 0.7 is broken, then it's not good for GRT. This is not a problem. HND, is not bad at this moment. If you look at it, retested this level. This is a good sign, and HNT usually is usually is able to retain its value pretty well. So I see a strength in it. But the thing is, if this is broken below, you're going to see it coming down to this level and so on. 30 is the important level, and all previous levels could be considered as support, right? This is a good example. I shared one example yesterday from Opal coin, remember, under the academia. If you haven't seen it, KC has dropped by 17%. This is nasty. Oof. But it reacted from here. I would say, yeah, here the support is broken. This is an immediate support. I would say this today's low, and this are November 10th low, which is 20 to be considered. After that, actually other are very, because it moved up pretty much. So I would say just in this case, just incremental, exit makes sense. Below this one, you may consider this 14.75 as the key level, because these are the high. If you think from that point of view, this is the high, right? So this range, the $15, 15 USD is 14 to 15. This range, for 14 to 15 range, is the key level, because if it goes below, then in this coin it goes into uncertain territory, right? Right now you can consider the whole entire region as a support. Okay, the next one is KDA. Is you look at the KDA is now retracing, right? So right now it's moving down slowly, but it could actually drop quickly. This coin went up too fast without any major correction. If a coin hasn't gone through any major correction, well, like this, these are the most vulnerable coin. Remember that. No matter how much you like it, the same coin that you like the most could hurt you the most. Remember. So this coin has gone up from 1.3 to this one without any correction. This is not a correction, this is consolidation. There is no real correction from 1.4. This could go down straight to 6.2, 50, I'm not kidding, 70% drop. So if you are holding it, be careful. KSM hit, again, you can draw a simple trend line locally. It will good for you to practice this. In fact, very simple technique. Okay, like this, and then you see. But anyway, this is the important level, 330. If it breaks 330, then all this low could be the reference point. Then the link outside has broken the immediate support. Now the next big level is 23, and ultimate level is 20. Then the LTC today's low, and then 190, and ultimately 166. If it breaks below 166, goes to unknown. Then Luna I would say 34, and then 30, and 23, or maybe 23. Yeah, 23. These are the three levels incrementally, because Luna is another example. You see the structure. If this continues going down, this is going to be the immediate support, and if this is broken below, it will go down. So Luna would crash badly, like what you saw here. This drop will be even bad, worse than this. Remember, this consolidation is also good and bad. If the market situation is good, then this is a positive. If the BTC is in trouble, the same is actually worst. So this could go deep. Okay, Mana has actually bounced very good. Like it recovered 80%. So this coin is showing strength at this moment. Very few coin, as I mentioned, is showing strength, but it's something we have to see. if it's able to maintain, can it go against BTC? Can it can it retain its value is something we have to wait and watch, right? uh, we have 2.5 hours, 3.5 hours before the day ends. Can it hold it? If it holds and do something different, then keep an eye. So I'm highlighting that keep an eye on Mana if it could provide opportunity when there is none. It is possible that some coin do something very different, and it is better to ride those coins. Say, okay, look at the Matic has hit this trend line, right? So that's why it reacted. So to me, this low is important, then 1.28 is important, and then 1.13 is important, and after that 0.99 is important. So if 0.99 is gone, it's gone. Then the one coin, I would say this low, recent low, and then the next one is zero point 0.2 and then 0.185 or maybe 0.177, which was the R12. That's the important one. Opalus is moving up. You see, this is the point I was making. I had a highlight. Whether you like it or not, you need to know when to change. If I'm not saying you drop everything and go after it, but it's like hedging sometime. uh, Traders need to be very active sometimes. Say, okay, my portfolio is going down, nothing is going up. This coin is maintaining its position, not just that, but it's going up. Can I reduce 5% and put it into this one, so even my loss is compensated? Because sometimes it's not about gain, it is about hedging. So, and then if this coin continue doing well, for example, it has a target of 146%, and you see a good start, and not necessarily good start means good end, but at least better than anything that you see right now. So you what the rationally what you can think that, okay, none of my coin is working. This is not financial advice but common sense. None of the coin is working. Can I get rid of those coin in some percentage and go for this coin, or any other coin? It could be sand coin, which is right now rising. No need to be aggressive, but at least change in small step. So you at least gain something out of this kind of coin, and might be losing with other, but at least that loss, what you do is you minimize your loss. Sometime minimizing loss is also important, right? When you don't want to get out. So these are simple technique. RNDR, I believe, so it's down by 12%. I think there is one more burst pending. In my opinion, we'll have to see. It could bounce from this level or from this blue, but I strongly believe that there is one more upside move is pending. Okay, but if it goes below this level, then I would say, okay, we'll probably, it's not something that I thought of. But as far as my analysis is concerned, I think it's not done yet. Though it looks the worst actually, looking at the candle, but it seems there's one more move is left. We'll see. Look at the strength of this coin. So if this coin is the most, I think this is the strongest coin. Opal and this one are the strongest at this moment. RNDR could become strong because that's a crazy coin. It's consistent and it could go up, as I said. So keep an eye on this coin, and Mana I highlighted. It could also go up, right? So in meanwhile, if any other coin goes up, you may look for it. But the point is, at this moment, at least I would highlight this coin. So as I said, don't just look for it. I mean, don't look, stare at it. If you have access, try it and minimize your loss, but without any major shuffling. Yeah, it's not that you sell everything and go after this. Okay, you see the number of touches. So this low is important, starting with the recent low, and then whatever is this number, ship coin, right? So ending with 3863. If this is broken, then it's the coin is broken, in my opinion. Then it's not a, because then it will be this is too deep. But right now there's no sign of strength, there's no sign of bounce. It's looking weak, pretty weak. SKL is moving sideways, so it's a range bound. If you look at it, multiple attempts to break above, this coin is moving sideways ever since broken above this orange. This coin is moving sideways, so there's no net gain for this coin. So I would say I would just lower this one and say, if this is broken, then this coin is gone. At this moment, this is kind of a no. It's flat, in short. It's so yeah. So recent low and then 0.27 would be the ultimate one, and maybe this one. Yeah, but yeah, beyond this one is not, doesn't make sense. Okay. So this coin, this is a retest of the breakout. Okay, it happened earlier, it happening today. Right now there's no bounce. It indicates that there's weakness, for the more weakness, and in that case it could go for R18 or this low. Okay, this range. So basically R19, which is 211, could be your first support, and then this is the next one, but in between you can have multiple, as I said, right? If this is broken, R19 is broken, then it doesn't make sense. If it comes down to this level, it's too deep, so there's no point of discussing this even, because as far as percentage is concerned, this is 35% drop. Because if it comes down to this, I don't know, I mean, ultimately it has to break this one, then the support is around 106. But if this is broken, then I doubt that this can hold right now. Anyways, nobody on opportunity channel should just keep staring, especially already in loss. So this is another thing. Somebody is in loss, should I in fact be more careful? So people do other way around. If somebody is in loss, would try to hold even tighter compared to someone in profit, which is, that's how human mind works. You know what the biggest fear is? I try to find out the reason why people do that, why they don't sell when they're in loss. Simple, to think that, what if I sell and price coin goes up? They think, they have fear, but in that fear they risk more. So that's why multiple stop losses is the solution. They don't think about this, just think about being in the with the coin or not with the coin. They don't think about reducing. This is the common problem of new traders, the traders who are not experienced. They don't have a concept of reducing. They are either in or out, and that's why they suffer the most. Same thing, if they have cash, they'll spend whole entire cash to start with, rather than spending 20% to or 30% to start, and then 50%. Day one they start the trading. If they have $10,000, they'll put $10,000, not that 3,000. Let me start with $3,000, let me gain something at 5,000 and so on. No, same thing. When they panic, they sell everything, and so that's how they lose the most. They are short lived. Basically they get out, they cannot last long in this market. See, when everything goes up, I used to compare with a leaf. When you drop a leaf in a stream of water, the leaf floats, but don't consider that leaf as a navigator or someone who is a skillful sailor. Okay, you drop a leaf in a flowing river or stream, it is going to float, it's going to move. Looking at the leaf, you don't think it's actually navigating. It's moving because of the flow. So the bull market, Whenever you sometime it you inexperienced trader just float like a leaf, and when the current changes, they are without any direction and they lose. You know what I'm saying? So don't be a leaf. uh Dell is in not doing well, so it's looking risky to me because it has broken the yellow. Okay, so it's actually dropping. It's not looking good. So I would say point 0.016, and then yeah, and then this is the lowest, and in between you can have a cluster, but in fact this is already at risk. Yeah, it's losing balance anyway. So but gradually it's happening, but if it breaks below, then it's a real trouble. 0.0135, it's dropping at this moment. Okay. uh, so earlier to my point, those who are in loss, please don't think you're support. If you, what if it goes up? So what if it goes up? You buy back. Simple. But what if it goes down? Have you thought about that? Right? So do in very small increments, please. And I'm not trying to generate create panic here, but last time nobody did anything, like they just held up. So I got a little surprised. Anyway, uni. So uni is this level. So this is very simple. This is this low, this low. These two lows are important, and then we can have one more in between. But if this is knocked out, then the next is big, and then who cares about this one? This is too low. Yeah, it is not bad. If I extend it, it could actually hit this one. But yeah, this 0.11 is the important level which I calculated earlier. So if this right from the recent low all the way to this low, you can have your support scattered. Okay, you may. But if this is the key level 0.11. Of course, it can go up to this, but this is too low. That's why I'm not recommending. In terms of percentage, this is 43%. This is too low. This is suicidal. Um, for this one, I think this low is important, November 12th low, and then you can take this low. So I would say 0.055, and then 0.050, right? And then ultimately this. So this can be three levels for VRA. Right now, the VRA is looking strong, though. When I say strong means not crashing, not strong, not that going up. So strong in a sense, it's not it's holding up well comparatively. It's not, though it's down by 10%, still it's not in a bad situation compared to some of them. Okay, so I think I covered all. Okay, now feel free to ask me question. I'm going to stop the recording.